Electric vehicles aren't just vehicles, they're actually generators on wheels. And we use that. We use it every day. We're not using it tonight, but we used it last night. We'll probably use it tomorrow night, plug in our car into our house to power our house. But don't take our word for it. Take the entire city of Utrecht. And I came across this article. I thought it was fascinating, thought it was worth a share. And then I found an accompanying video from a few years ago that helped underscore how this technology is propelling us forward and the impact that it could have, significant impact that it can have on how our energy usage and distribution and storage and democratization of power globally. So here it is, Utrecht. We're looking at this is from Smart Energy International. I think this was on a few outlets picked up on this as well. I think Renault, the Renault Automotive Group, released the initial part of this information. So the title is Utrecht to launch first large-scale vehicle-to-grid car sharing service in Europe. So the Renault Group, We Drive Solar, which is a car sharing group, My Wheels, and the city of Utrecht have joined forces to launch the first large-scale car sharing service in Europe that utilizes vehicle-to-grid technology. We Drive Solar might be solar power as well, and My Wheels might be the car sharing. Let's find out. Let's whip through this thing. The initiative aims to facilitate the large-scale availability of electric shared mobility while offering an innovative way to balance the city's electric grid through bidirectional charging technology. Under the partnership, Renault Group will supply 500 Renault 5 e-Tech battery electric cars equipped with Mobilize's vehicle-to-grid technology. So that's Mobilize must be a different group creating that vehicle-to-grid technology. Dutch mobility operator We Drive Solar will provide and operate bidirectional charging stations, and Dutch car sharing service My Wheels will operate the fleet. This seems like a really nice collaboration. And it's amazing because they have, in the Netherlands, there's a Dutch mobility operator, We Drive Solar, who provides bidirectional charging stations. I'm going to have to look into that. I don't think we have anything like that in the US of A. Certainly nothing like that up around me. I got to drive a half an hour to find a 60 kilowatt semi fast charger. And you're telling me they're throwing up bi-directional charging stations all across Utrecht? It's pretty awesome. Commenting in a LinkedIn post was Anouk Pelman, Renault Group CEO of the Netherlands. Quote, thrilled to contribute to an unprecedented collaboration with We Drive Solar and My Wheels, transforming Utrecht into a beacon of sustainable transportation. Proud of the Dutch team for supporting Renault Group and executing this groundbreaking project in the Netherlands. This is a significant milestone in Renault Group's journey towards a greener future. Those must be the cars there. It's pretty cool. This is a really cool project. So here, Europe's first vehicle-to-grid car sharing service, partnership between Renault, We Drive Solar, and My Wheels in Utrecht. That's pretty great. Those are great little cars. I imagine they work really well in that city. According to the partners in a release, this will mark the first time this technology is used to benefit public infrastructure. That's fantastic. The first time this technology is used to benefit public infrastructure. Thank you, Utrecht. The Dutch, not only did they engineer living below sea level, they are engineering bringing these generators on wheels to the public infrastructure. 500 bidirectional cars, says Renault, could provide 10% of the needed flexibility in the Utrecht region to balance solar and wind energy for usage during peak hours. So it's great. So basically what they're doing is they're just rebalancing the system. They're taking a mobile commodity that has the ability to store and contain and move around significant amounts of power, even in probably a smaller vehicle. I don't know how much power the Renault car, the 5 e-Tech batteries hold, But I mean, it's got to be 50, 60, 70 kilowatts. My guess is it's somewhere in that range. We could look it up at some point if people are interested in exploring this a little more. I am. So 10% of the needed flexibility. And this is all about flexibility. That's what shifting this power around is all about. That's what it's all about at our house. At our house, it's 77, 78 kilowatts on the Ioniq 5 that we're able to charge at any given point, at any given time, anywhere, and bring that power back to our house so that in the midst of a snowstorm, a nor'easter, a hurricane, a blizzard, in the summer when we're getting torrential downpours, in the winter when we're getting heavy winds and storms, like we're covered. Our power, we're able to shuffle around our power so that if 40 kilowatts on our power wall and our 3 power walls fall short, then we have this other option to kind of bring in power and manage and maintain it. And for people who are grid tied, to have one power wall really to get you through the overnight, especially one power wall is such a key ally in combating how we use our power, and particularly in outages and or in situations where the power is at a premium or it's not available. And so one power wall allows us to put ourselves in a position to sustain somewhat of an off-grid lifestyle, even if we're grid connected and grid tied, microgrid tied. And that power wall in conjunction with a vehicle to grid, a vehicle to load, that's how we use it, as a load, because we're not grid tied. It's the same idea. It allows that one power wall to become 5 power walls. It allows that one electric vehicle, that one Renault, to become 500. And that becomes a power plant. Then you're going from an individual generator, what used to be traditionally a pole generator. Now you're going to a power plant sized opportunity to create and store power. The fleet could eventually feature the Renault 4 E-Tech Electric, Megane E-Tech Electric, and Scenic E-Tech Electric cars, whose compact design and advanced technology, says the automaker, make them ideal for urban car sharing programs in cities transitioning to more sustainable mobile solutions. It's just such a great idea. Kudos to Renault and Utrecht and all of the partners involved. This is a great program. Renault's vehicles equipped with Mobilize's vehicle-to-grid technology would enable users to charge their vehicles with clean energy and feed power back into the grid during high demand. This would reduce overall electricity costs, but also help stabilize the grid and further integrate renewable energy sources. Starting in Utrecht, all new bidirectional public AC chargers will be rolled out to support the vehicle-to-grid access toolkit provided by Mobilize. That's amazing too. All new vehicles, all new bidirectional public AC chargers will be rolled out. Renault's vehicles will be operated by MyWheels, the largest car sharing company in the Netherlands. So it looks like this program potentially is in some really good hands. It's really exciting. I really got to say hats off to everybody involved in this for putting this together. And when I dug into this a little bit more, there's a history here. There's a history with Utrecht, certainly in engineering and putting themselves in a position to sustain and succeed, storing that power and using vehicle to grid to shift that energy around and meet the demands and the needs of the communities as they see fit. And so I came across this video, and it's amazing to me that they're so prepared and so planning so smartly and intently on how we charge these vehicles and how we discharge these vehicles to use them for what they truly are, which is an incredible power plant, a mobile storage battery backup power plant that can help individuals, families, communities, cities, etc., globally in some profound ways. So I came across this video, and this was from Fully Charged, and this was a few years ago, I believe, 2 years ago. So, and just listen to this. So they're at the Renault factory right here, and they're talking about this very program.
Yeah, we have the million.
Right. Wow, that is amazing.
It really is.
What is the potential then for how this would operate with the buildings and with the grid? The whole idea is to have like the whole city be arranged as one system.
Right.
So here, right now, there are approximately 250 charging points, all bi-directional. It will scale up to 400, maybe even 500 at this location.
Right.
But in the city, there are already 1,000 bi-directional charging stations.
Already installed.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's 1,000 bi-directional charging stations in the city of Utrecht. That is amazing. Are there 1,000 bi-directional charging stations in the entire United States of America? I have no idea. I kind of doubt it.
And that will grow and double every year. And the calculation we've made together with the University of Utrecht is that you will need approximately like 10,000 bi-directional cars to balance the whole city.
Right.
To have enough storage to store.
That doesn't seem like so much. That doesn't seem like an unachievable amount. 10,000 vehicles to balance the needs of the city.
Or the solar during the day and the wind during the night,
Right.
and provide it back to the city during peak hours.
Wow.
And that's the ambition we want to achieve.
Right. Because when you say 10,000 electric cars, because of the way we are now, that seems like a huge amount. But I mean, I don't know how many regular petrol cars are registered in Utrecht, but it's way more than that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like 140,000.
Yes.
So less than 10%,
Yeah.
fully electric, bi-directional,
That's amazing.
can make this happen.
Wow. And what would that result in then? Would that mean that on many days of the year, you could absolutely run 100% on renewables from the surrounding area?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. You cannot generate all the electricity within the city, so you have to do this as a region.
Yeah.
Together with the province of Utrecht.
This is exactly it. This is why we need to work together. This is why I love living off grid, and I love proving this technology or disproving this technology, seeing how it works or how it doesn't work. But ultimately, it's how does our puzzle piece fit into our community and the larger communities so that we can harness all of the opportunities we have collectively to work together to bring in this power, to store this power, to bring this power to the places it needs to be when it needs to be there, then to discharge this power and then to recirculate that system so it comes back around. And if it needs to be slightly evolved or it needs to change or become contextualized based on how weather patterns are working or how demographics are needed or how certain usages of power tend to happen, we have the flexibility to change that and to analyze it and look at it in real time with real data. The city of Utrecht has been doing this for years.
But then you can manage this. And of course, sometimes we will need wind energy from the North Sea.
Yeah.
When there's not enough wind energy at the country. But it's basically when you look at the 24-hour energy cycle with all the peaks in demand and production, it's really about matching this.
Yeah.
And to do that, you need a lot of storage. And if you look at storage for the short-term 24-hour cycle, the battery is really the best technology available. And we look at this electrification of transport as that's where all the batteries go.
Right. Yeah.
When you look at battery production worldwide, it's all for the cars.
It's all going into cars. Most
so
of it, yeah.
Please, let's use those cars not just for transportation, but also for storage, because then we can really solve the energy transition issue.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. This is where we're at. This is where we're at right now. We're able to harness power sustainably from the sun, from the wind, from the tide. I mean, I've seen dance floors that have piezoelectrics that just kind of pick up on the shock from people dancing on the floor and generate power to keep the lights on in those clubs. We have ways to do this stuff. We're smart enough to do it, to figure this out. We need it. There's a demand for it. We need it. We needed to sustain ourselves at this point, not so much in the grandiose romanticized environmental view of it, but in the day-to-day, things are challenging for a lot of people in a lot of ways. And we've got these tools and resources. We've got the people with the energy and the experience. I mean, the guys talking on this on the video we were just watching, there's brilliant people, and they've been doing this for years. And like what he said, we've got the ability to capture this power, we've got the ability to store this power, and we've got the ability to move it around to where it's needed. And so at a larger scale, when we start looking regionally, And regionally now, it does mean in a lot of like it's a large region. It could mean regions of the country, entire countries, entire continents, when we're talking about how connected things are and the redundancy of power and the redundancy of information that we can use to create layers of structure that will help us push through the electrification of our grid and how to best utilize all of these resources to put us to allow us to succeed, to give us the best quality of life, and particularly when there's situations where power is at a shortage, power is out, there's storms, and medical emergency services, things are needed. How do we get power there as fast as we can? Or how do we reroute our power or modify our system to make it the most efficient, effective, and strongest possible network that we can? And it's all possible. It's amazing, the story in Utrecht. I really like this this article from Smart Energy International. It's really neat to see. It's neat to see them investing in this technology, and it's neat to see the partnerships that are happening between companies, private, and between cities and public, and how people are actually utilizing and being actionable on this technology. And it's the demand for it is increasing. And so Utrecht a few years ago started with these pilot projects, and now you look at the curve on which they're going to accelerate the integration of vehicle to grid into their infrastructure. And we should all be doing that. So and we can be. So let's just start the conversation. It's amazing to see it in action, and it's fun to talk about. So hope everybody has enough power for their day, inside and out. And we'll catch up with you tomorrow or the next day, sometime soon, on the Off Grid Farm. Later, everybody.